Good day, students. This is another day of learning, and I hope that you're doing well in answering your module. This time, we're going to learn and discuss about Quarter 4 Module 2, Strategies for Effective Interpersonal Communication. And to begin this, here are the learning objectives. At the end of this video lesson, you are expected to, first, define interpersonal communication. Second, determine the elements of interpersonal communication. Third, employ a variety of strategies for effective interpersonal communication in terms of having an interview, dialogue, and conversation. And last, reflect on the importance of interpersonal communication in real-life situations. Good luck! Now, in your previous module, you studied more about the features of academic writing. Now, it's time for you to recall what you have learned by answering this mind booster. Directions. Write yes if each of the following is an example of academic writing, and no if it is not an example of academic writing. Refer to this given table. First writing entry is journals. 2. Personal diary. 3. Research paper. 4. Comic books. 5. Book report. Okay, if you answer all correctly, congratulations! You have mastered the previous lesson. This time, before proceeding to our main discussion, let us first have this independent activity titled Come With Me. Studied, given dialogue, and answer the following questions. After I read this dialogue. Hi, I'm Mark. I'm a transferee. Would you mind to be my partner in our project? I'm sorry, Mark, but I already have a partner. His name is Tim, our class top student. He's taking all charges in our project. It's okay, Ken. I will just talk to our teacher if Mark can be with our project. Now it's time for you to answer the processing questions. Number 1. What did the three boys talk about? 2. How are they related to one another? How did you know? 3. How did Ken react to Mark's offer? 4. What can you say about his words and expressions while talking to the transferee? 5. How did Tim react from the reply of Mark? How did he handle the offer of Mark? Okay. So in this lesson, you will encounter facts and strategies about interpersonal communication that would enable you to become a better individual in dealing with other people. So it seems that you're ready. Let us now go and explore new learning. First, what is interpersonal communication? Okay, interpersonal communication is the process by which people exchange information, feelings, and meaning through verbal and nonverbal messages. It is face-to-face communication. Interpersonal communication is not just about what is just being said and the language used, but how it is said and the nonverbal messages sent through the tone of voice, facial expressions, gestures, and body language. Interpersonal communication has different elements, and the first one is the communicators. For any communication to occur, there must be at least two people involved. It is easy to think about communication involving a sender and a receiver of message. Now, in this process, there are two ways. First one is the one-way process, wherein one person sends the message and the other receives it. The second process is the two-way, wherein people sending and receiving messages to and from each other simultaneously. The second one is the message. Message not only means the speech used or information conveyed, but also the nonverbal messages exchanged, such as facial expressions, tone of voice, gestures, and body language. Nonverbal communication can convey additional information about the spoken messages. In particular, it can reveal more emotional attitudes which may underlie the content of the speech. The third element is noise. Noise has a special meaning in communication theory. It refers to anything that distorts the message so that what is received is different from what is intended by the speaker. Whilst physical noise, for example, background sounds or a low-flying jet plane, can interfere with communication, other factors are considered to be noise. The use of complicated jargon, inappropriate body language, inattention, disinterest, and cultural differences can be considered noise in the context of interpersonal communication. In other words, any distortions or inconsistencies that occur during an attempt to communicate can be seen as a noise. The fourth one is feedback. Feedback consists of messages the receiver returns which allows the sender to know how accurately the message has been received, as well as the receiver's reaction. Types of feedback range from direct verbal statement, for example, "Say that again, I don't understand," to subtle facial expressions or changes in posture that might indicate to the sender that the receiver feels uncomfortable with the message. Feedback allows the sender to regulate, adopt, or repeat the message in order to improve the communication. The fifth one is context. All communication is influenced by the context in which it takes place. However, apart from looking at the situational context of where the interaction takes place, for example, in a room, office, or perhaps outdoors, the social context also needs to be considered. For example, the roles, responsibilities, and relative status of the participants. The last one is channel. The channel refers to the physical means by which the message is transferred from one person to another. In a face-to-face context, the channels which are used are speech and vision. However, during a telephone conversation, the channel is limited to speech alone. Now that we have known the concepts and the elements of interpersonal communication, the question is, when do we use interpersonal communication? So here are the ways on when we use it. First, to give and collect information. Next, to influence the attitudes and behavior of others. Third, to form contacts and maintain relationships or make sense of the world and our experiences in it. Next, to express personal needs and understand the needs of others. Next, to give and receive emotional support. Another is make decisions and solve problems. Another is anticipate and predict behavior and regulate power. And in order to become effective interpersonal communicators, here are the tips, especially when we are talking to someone. First, know your audience or listener. Second, look them in the eye while speaking and listening. Third, speak with a stand. Fourth, listen attentively to the speaker. Fifth, be polite. Sixth, be ready in any distortions or noise. Next, offer positive feedback. And last tip is seek empathy. So now, after giving you all the inputs about the lesson, it's time to test you out and make your learning more productive and interesting by answering these following activities. Are you ready? Okay, let's have the first one. So this activity needs the guidance of your parent or guardian, for this includes a viewing. So now, you're going to watch this video clip and afterwards you will answer questions about this. So listen attentively as you watch.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Giddings. I'm a nurse practitioner at Fairview Nursing Home. May I speak with Mr. Jackson?
This is Mr. Jackson. Is my wife okay?
Yes, she's doing fine. How are you doing today?
Good. I was a little better now. Thank you.
This is a difficult and scary time because of the coronavirus.
Hmm.
We know that it is made worse by the need to be separated from family and friends. I wanted to speak with you because despite our best efforts, some of our staff and residents tested positive for coronavirus.
Oh man,
Yes.
I knew it. I knew that was going to happen. I mean, it's everywhere now.
Yes, it's been spreading very quickly.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping we can talk about how to provide the best care for Mrs. Jackson if she became sick. Is that okay?
Yep. Yep. That's fine.
So, what have you heard about how the coronavirus might affect her health?
Oh, it wouldn't be good. She's about the last person in the world that should be getting that bug. It's bad. It's a tough one. It would be bad.
Yes. May I share with you my understanding of how the coronavirus could affect Mrs. Jackson's health?
Yes, ma'am.
Most people in nursing facilities who get the coronavirus get better on their own.
Hmm.
But if they become very sick, people who live in nursing facilities are less likely to survive. I know
Yeah.
this is a hard thing to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'd like to make sure that we continue to provide Mrs. Jackson with the best care possible.
Okay, so I hope you've listened well in this video. So here are the processing questions. I want you to answer this on your paper. First, who are the communicators in the material viewed? Second, what messages were exchanged from the conversations? Third, was there a channel used during the conversation? If there is, then what is it? Fourth, was there a noise that distorted the messages? Fifth, how was the feedback given? And the last, what is the highlighted context of the communication? So if you find difficulty in answering the question based on your first viewing of the material, you can view again the material. Okay, for the next activity, so will be done independently. This is titled Get Connected. So you're going to create and draw a diagram on how the information transferred to one another based on the video clip you have just watched. And here is a guide for you to do your diagram. So in this diagram, we can see that the message is inside the box in the middle. Then we have encoding, decoding, we have the sender, receiver, the noise, and feedback. So you're going to use this diagram in filling out what you have learned and what you have gathered about the elements of communication from the viewing material that you have seen and watched. Okay, now that we're done with that, let's proceed to the next activity. This way, you're going to read each situation and then answer the question as follows. So I'm going to read to you the situations. First situation, you're asking permission from your father, but he insists not to allow you to join in an outing with your friends. How would you convince him? Start your answer with, I would convince my father by... Situation number 2. You came to school late, but the test in your first subject already started and was ongoing. How would you excuse to the class and talk to your teacher? Start your answer by, I would excuse by... And situation number 3, you are the group leader in your class activity, but you forgot to bring and left in your house the materials needed in your presentation. In a few minutes, the presentation will start. How would you deal with your groupmates who are very excited to present, expecting that everything is ready? Start your answer with, I would tell my groupmates that... Great! It seems that you really understood what you have learned from our discussion. And in order for you to reflect on everything of it, answer these questions. Why is it important to understand the concepts of interpersonal communication? Second, how is interpersonal communication relevant in the current global pandemic that we are experiencing today? Great! Now it's time to test your understanding of all the concepts and application of interpersonal communication in this assessment. So I'm going to read the items and you're going to choose the letter of the correct answer and write it on your answer sheets. Number 1. It is the process by which people exchange information, feelings, and meaning through verbal and non-verbal messages. Is it A, interpersonal relationship? Is it B, interpersonal communication? C, interpersonal correlation? Or D, interpersonal growth? 2. It refers to anything that distorts the message. What element is this? A, communicator, B, feedback, C, message, or D, noise. Number 3. In a face-to-face context, the channels used are A, eyes and ears, B, vocal skill and vision, C, speech and vision, or D, speech and hearing skill. 4. Which of the following is not an element of interpersonal communication? Is it A, audience, B, channel, C, feedback, or D, message? And number 5, what is an example of a one-way process among the following communicators? Is it A, Maria talks to her mother politely, B, Maria talks to her groupmates about their school project, C, Maria is delivering a declamation piece during the contest, and D, Maria, together with her choir member, sings beautifully. Nice job! So this is the end of our video lesson. I hope that you have learned much from our activities and from the discussion that we have made. Thank you for listening. Remember to stay safe and God bless. Bye!